Welcome to Seven River Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and into fitness. Well, today, spotlight shines on the Aquinas Blue-Gold Girls Volleyball program. In case you didn't know, one of the best programs in the state of Wisconsin. And with us, three senior Blue-Gold athletes, student athletes, Megan Scheidt, Ceci Miskowski, and Claire Dolan. Welcome to the show, girls.
Thank you.
The best part of being on the show is you get out of class.
Right, that's true.
Well, actually, I want to clarify what I said about one of the best programs in the state. In case you missed it, they just ended the season 30-4, 11-1 in the MVC, losing to Grantsburg in the sectional finals. But going back to 2017, 18-11, 10-2, and still on top of the MVC. And finally, when you were sophomores, 31-5, and again on top of the MVC 3 years in a row. You ready for this? In 3 years, the Blue-Gold Girls Volleyball, 79 wins and 22 losses. And Megan, you've been a big part of that. That's been your career. You're a multi-sport athlete. Volleyball is certainly one of your strengths. Talk about the season. Talk about your career.
I wasn't even on the varsity team as a sophomore. So my junior year, I was like kind of thrown into the varsity world. Like I don't really know if I was ready for it at that point, but I like love volleyball now, and I feel like I just really embraced my role as a libero, being on the court all the time, and I had a ton of fun with it, and I ended up really loving volleyball.
Okay, so you said that you weren't it really wasn't one of your strengths, it wasn't one of your favorite sports, and all of a sudden you emerged to be one of the leading players on this year's championship team. Was that just through hard work?
Yes, I think so. I really think I also worked really well with Nellie and Jess as our coaches, and they were new my junior year, which was the first year that I really took volleyball seriously. So, and my senior year especially, I worked really hard all season and the off season. It was the first year I did club my junior year after our season ended. So yeah, I think hard work really helped me a lot.
Well, and Ceci Miskowski, knowing your family a little bit too, and I know you had a lot of success, but was it a challenge as the season comes to an end? You lose in the sectional finals, obviously goal of going to state, and all of a sudden it's all over in a New York minute. Was that emotional for you?
Yeah, it was, especially since we went into the sectional final game. I think we all had the mentality that we were going to win the game, and we just weren't ready to lose and to have our season cut short.
Was that a shock kind of for Claire too, because Ceci says you weren't really ready, and perhaps you maybe overlooked their strength. Nonetheless, you had a great season, but as it came to an end and you're on that floor, and all of a sudden your high school days are behind you, at least in volleyball. Talk about that feeling.
Yeah, I think it definitely came as a shock. We knew it would be a tough game. Nerves were definitely there just because of the situation initially, but we definitely didn't think that it would be over that quickly. And I definitely don't think we processed it at first, but once it sunk in, it hurt pretty bad.
Well, you had great careers though, and you're on all three of you are multi-sport athletes. So the transition for you, Megan, from volleyball to basketball, you needed a little break, but you're going to be into basketball when you return from your trip, which we'll talk about. But talk about that transition, what you look forward to in basketball.
I think I've been really lucky at Aquinas to be on a lot of winning teams, like volleyball and basketball. We have a lot of winning records. So going into basketball, I'm kind of excited to redeem what we didn't do in volleyball, because we expected to go farther and get to state, and we didn't do that. And so hopefully I can do that this year in basketball, and I just want to keep my hard working ethic through basketball season as well.
And Ceci, you have a little break now.
Yeah, I do.
Because you're a two-sport athlete, and soccer comes next, so you have a chance to kind of maybe spend your time in studies, although I know you're a great student anyway, but are you looking forward to that break?
Yes, I am. I have a lot of college applications and scholarships I have to get out.
So that will take up some of your time now, but you'll be going to all the girls' basketball games because it looks as though in early season previews that the Aquinas Blue Gulls could have another spectacular year. So I'm sure Megan expects you, all of her classmates, to be there watching.
Yeah, I plan to be there.
So, and Claire, too, you have a little bit of a break. Are you anxious to step aside for a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's definitely needed, especially coming off a long season of volleyball, definitely longer than last year's season. It's kind of nice just to sit back for a little bit.
Well, Aquinas, a school that I have taught at, and I enjoy the culture. The mission of Aquinas High School is this. It's a Christ-centered learning community to educate, challenge, and to provide a tradition of faith, service, and academic excellence. So that's kind of a mouthful. But the high expectations of an Aquinas athlete kind of puts you on a level, platform that you need to be accountable, and you need to live up to that. And is that difficult? How do you do that, Megan?
I think it's remembering that we represent Aquinas all the time is something that we have to keep in the back of our minds during matches or games or anything. So having a good, I think it's about integrity, knowing that you gotta do what is best, not just for yourself, but for everybody around you all the time, no matter who's watching or if no one is.
Well, a lot of authors, Tony Dungy is one, famous football coach, Hall of Fame, and so on, but he talks about being uncommon. Athletes, student athletes, are expected to be uncommon, meaning that they're on a platform, athletes are on a platform, you have young people looking up to you as a student athlete. A lot of people struggle with those expectations. How do you do that, Ceci?
I think it's just about organization, just knowing that when you're on the court, people are always looking at you, just trying to put your best foot forward.
Yeah, and I'm sure you do put your best foot forward. Well, and of course, Claire, like you two, are a great student, academic student of the month, individual honor. You had a lot of those kinds of things too. So you embody the phrase "student first, athlete second." Is that part of the expectations at home?
Yeah, I think it is. I put those expectations for myself because ultimately I'm not going to Aquinas to play sports. I'm going to get a good education, and that's what I want to give myself the best future I can give for myself. And I think that's just how I'm going to do it.
Well, is it difficult? I mean, we had your sister on the show too, and now she's away to college, and she left a legacy in both academics and athletics. Is it difficult for you to follow in those footsteps?
It definitely is something that I think about a lot, but all in all, I'm going to be a different student than her. I'm going to be a different athlete than her, no matter how hard I try to be exactly like her.
And Megan, we've had both of your brothers on the show, in your family, friends of mine. And of course, they achieved a great deal of excellence in the classroom and in their respective sports. And that's a prominent name, Scheidt. Is that a challenge for you?
It was challenging at first, but I think I just realized that as a Scheidt, I feel the need to be busy all the time, kind of, and I have a lot on my plate all the time, so it's not really been stressful. It's just kind of an expectation. Our family just stays busy. It's not really different for me or anything like that. I don't feel like I have to try to live up to them.
So it's part of your DNA.
Yeah.
Time management is always something that people struggle with. Adults struggle. Do you struggle with that, Ceci?
Yes, during volleyball season, just because it takes up so much time and it consumes your weekends. But just like before practice, getting your homework done, if you organize it well, it's okay.
You have hard classes too, Claire, and
Yes.
And that requires you to be on top of things. Is that, and not everybody can do that.
Yeah, it's definitely been super difficult with AP classes, and even general classes at Aquinas are still pretty rigorous in the workload that they give you. But like Ceci said, if you organize it well and you plan out when you want to get your work done and still have time for practice and games and just time to relax, I think that it all works out okay.
What's your most difficult subject?
I'm taking AP Biology right now, and that is a pretty time-consuming class.
But you have some good instructors there too, and
Yes,
so
we do.
They reach out to help you when you struggle. I ought to know because I had to get some help
Yeah,
when I was
for
in high
sure.
school. But we're going to step aside just for a minute. When we come back, we're going to get to know our three guests a little bit more. Again, the spotlight today on Aquinas Blue-Gold Volleyball. We'll be right back.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team.
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports again. Today we're talking to 3 student athletes from Aquinas High School, Megan Scheidt, Ceci Miskowski, and Claire Dolan. Well, we talked earlier, just touched on basketball beginning for you, Megan, actually today as we taped the show here. And but you're taking a little bit of sabbatical from basketball because you're going on an unbelievable trip. Talk about that.
My dad and I are going to Kenya for 11 days for a medical mission trip through an organization called Kenya Relief. They have like a little area or a base set up there with a school and like a little medical building. And I'm really excited. Both my brothers, well, my dad went to Africa when I was like super young, and he loved it, changed his life, so he decided he wanted to like let each of us kids experience that. So my brothers both went on a big trip their senior year, so I'm excited to go on mine.
It's 11 days with Dad.
Yeah.
You'll be able to handle that one?
I hope so.
That's on my bucket list to go to Kenya too, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But
Yeah.
maybe it will now since I know Megan's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you could go on a trip someplace, where would that be, Ceci?
Oh, I've always wanted to go to Greece.
What attracts you about Greece?
I just love their buildings and the ancient buildings, and then I like that it's on the water.
Claire, if you went to some exotic place to talk about the benefits of being a blue gold, and you were out recruiting somebody to go to Aquinas High School in La Crosse, Wisconsin, what would you say?
Oh gosh. I think I would just tell them how much of a family the student body is, because I think that's a really important aspect of schools. And obviously it gives us a really good education and a really good knowledge of our faith. But I definitely think that because of the smaller school, we really grow closer with our classmates, and I think that's really nice.
Faith, that's a strong part of who you are, isn't it?
Yes.
Talk about that.
Well, in school we obviously only get one period to really get into our faith, and we do like prayer services and other things throughout the year. But all of us actually went to Georgia this past summer on a mission camp for a week, and I think that really helped us get even deeper into our faith and help us realize how important that was.
Would there be a Bible verse that would describe you?
I can't think of one off the top of my head, but if I do, I'll let you know.
You let me know the next time I substitute teach at Aquinas High School. Faith is a big part of the Miskowski family too, right? Mm-hmm. You want to talk about that?
Yes, like Claire said, I went to Georgia. That's probably been the most important thing I feel like I've done with my faith. Just going to Georgia and seeing people from all over the country, just like helping each other to grow and serve God was life-changing.
Is there a Bible verse or a part of the Bible that would describe the youngest Scheidt child?
My favorite Bible verse is from Matthew chapter 6, I think. And it says, learn from the way the wildflowers grow. And I just like it because, like, it just means, like, you never really know what's going to happen. And I don't know, I just like that. I just like that verse.
It also means don't live a life of anxiety.
Yeah.
Don't live a life of stress, because it will shorten your life. That's how I take that. Mm-hmm. So you're a leader, and all three of you are leaders. You're involved, Ceci, in leadership groups. Mm-hmm. Share our viewers how important it is and what you have gotten life lessons from being a leader.
Well, I think it's just really important to help out with the community and just to reach out. And through Impact and Interact clubs at our school, it's really allowed me to just like learn about our community and help serve others.
And of course, leadership for you define, before we went on the air, what leadership means to you too, Claire, because you have always been a leader, like your sister.
Yes. To me, leadership, it doesn't really have to be designated to you. You can show it on your own. Like if you're not a captain on a sports team, that doesn't mean that you can't give other people a good, positive direction. And even outside of sports, if you're the leader of a club or an organization or even something outside of school that is just giving you a good development for that leadership skill, and I think that's really important.
And of course, you all demonstrate that. What advice would you give if you're speaking to St. Pat's or Cathedral or Blessed Sacrament and you're talking to young students about the expectations of being a blue gold athlete? What would you say to them, Claire?
I would say that getting involved as much as you can and trying new things is really important to the high school experience, because it allows you to meet new people outside of your friend group, and maybe you'll find something new that you like that you didn't know before.
What kind of wisdom would you share, Ceci?
Just putting yourself out there, even if you're uncomfortable, is probably one of the most beneficial things you can do.
So move from your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And
yes.
Of course, Megan, your comfort zone is stretching all the way to Kenya. Mm-hmm. You're going to be a different person when you come back.
I hope so.
Any thoughts?
I'm very excited to just immerse myself in the culture there, and I hope that I can learn a ton of things from my trip and from the people there.
The next chapter of your life begins in just a few months, and then you're stepping into the unknown. And what's your college plans, and where are we going to see you 5-10 years from now?
I'm not sure where I want to go yet, but I want to go into nursing, probably. I know that I want to do something in medicine, and hopefully I can be a nurse practitioner or a pediatrician someday. That's what I want to do.
Or a PA or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
And are you ready for your next chapter, which is going to happen in May?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very excited for college. I'm looking into Loyola University.
And where will we see you in 10 years?
I would like to do something with communications or business, possibly with marketing. I'm not 100% sure yet.
Well, how many people that are 17 years old are 100% sure what they're going to do? There's lots of options out there, so you don't want to put yourself in a silo so that you've already kind of predetermined your future. But you're probably going to follow your sister's footsteps and on to a 4-year school?
Yes, that is my plan. I think I'm going to go pre-med or biology, something with the medical field, hopefully get into a medical school somewhere.
If I asked your teammates to share their thought about you, Megan, what would they say?
I'm not sure. I hope that they would say that I'm a positive teammate. I try to stay positive on the court even when things aren't looking good, especially in volleyball. It's a game of mistakes. People are going to make mistakes every match, and keeping everybody positive and everybody's head up the whole time is really important to me.
Here's what your coach said about you, Megan. She's a little spark plug. She's developing her role nicely this year. Worked hard to make the libero position a difference maker. She bruised her body and bled, battered, and so on, but she thrived on that. Did you really?
I did. The game against Melrose Mindoro, I actually ripped a hole in my spandex, and my whole hip was really bloody afterwards.
Nellie George, the head coach, says this about Ceci. Makes everyone feel important and appreciated. And she always has a smile on her face, has done a nice job getting more range on her hitting. I will miss her. More range?
Just when I used to have a problem with my shoulder when I was swinging, and they worked with me this season to help fix that.
Good. And of course, we can't forget about Claire, who Coach George says she works hard every single minute on the court. Her tenacity consistently challenges her teammates, and her hard work leads by example. Did you know that?
I didn't know that she said that, but I'm glad to hear it because I would hope that that's how they would describe me.
Work habits?
Yeah.
Infectious, isn't it?
I think so.
So, so you're back. You're back at Aquinas until May, and your focus now is going to be, of course, on grades and going to college and so on. But you have lots more to accomplish in this world, and we just get some special athletes, student athletes, on this show, and you're an example of the cream of the crop at Aquinas High School. So we appreciate you being on the show. Again, today our guests, Megan Scheidt, Ceci Miskowski, and Claire Dolan. Thanks for being on the show, guys.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
Who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Well, Art and I were in West Salem on Thursday night for the West Salem Panther season opener, the Sparta Spartans, the opponent coming off an earlier loss to GET on Tuesday. Matt Quick's Panthers started the game with a full-court press defense as they created numerous Spartan turnovers and took a 26-24 lead into intermission. Sparta hung around most of the second half, courtesy of 18 points by Kaylee Zabel. Freshman Nadia Laufenberg contributed 10 points. West Salem was led by Brooke Benson with 19 points, as well as 18 points by inside player Kendall Gerke. A valiant effort by the Spartans down the stretch, as they would fall short and West Salem would win their opener 64-60. Let's move to Friday night to the Aquinas Blue Gold Reinhardt Athletic Complex on the campus of Aquinas High School. The home opener as the Blue Golds would meet the Cardinals from the Big Rivers Conference. The Lady Blue Golds are the defending state champs in Division IV. The Aquinas defense was overwhelming from the opening tip, creating numerous Cardinal turnovers. They started the game with a 10-0 run en route to a commanding 20-point halftime lead. The rout continued in the second half as the Cardinals were unable to establish an offensive threat. Taylor Teusch led the way with 22 points on 6 3-point shots. Lexi Donarski followed with 20, while Courtney Becker chipped in 14. 8 Blue Golds got into the scoring column. 3 Cardinals scored in double figures. Alexis Zenner led the way with 12. Aliyah McMillan and Kayleen Gibbons each had 10. Final from Aquinas, Blue Golds 82, Chippewa Falls 45. Well, that's it this week on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you will have an exciting and a healthy weekend.